Caught my dad hitting on my friends.
I should start this post by saying my dad cheated on my mom while she was pregnant with me, with my now stepmom, and they promptly got divorced shortly before I was born. I grew up with my mom many states away, and she met an amazing man she had a daughter with, and we are all very close. My pops is a real good dude. He even bought a townhouse in the town I grew up in and paid a mortgage on it to fly down with my stepmom, who I adore, and visit at least one weekend a month my entire childhood. As an adult, I moved away from home and live in a pretty touristy resort mountain town, and my dad and stepmom were of retiring age and ended up buying a house here. And for the first time in 29 years of life, we all began living in the same place. It's been great. We have dinner together lots and celebrate holidays and birthdays together and have felt like we've been able to make up for lost time. Since moving here, my dad has also begun helping a ton with my business and done lots of accounting work for it completely pro bono. Like I said, he's a really good guy. I found out a few weeks ago, though, that he's been soliciting friends and employees of mine for paid sexual encounters. Multiple friends and employees have come to me separately complaining about this. Given his history with my mom, I believed them. I talked to my therapist and thusly confronted him, and he admitted to it. He said he thinks he has a sex addiction problem and that after 34 years of marriage to my stepmom, she's 11 years older than him and in her upper 70s, that things had grown stale sexually. He also pleaded with me to keep my mouth shut. I, of course, told my birth mother, who just laughed and said, "What a dumbass." She has zero connection nor desire to talk to my stepmom and hasn't. Anyways, he and my stepmom own lots of real estate together, and their lives have been so financially intertwined for so long that a divorce would be ugly and financially ruin both of them. Not to mention, and I know this sounds selfish, but my stepbrother and I are the sole recipients of said real estate whenever the time comes, so this could affect our futures as well. So I don't want to ruin my dad, nor my stepmom, nor my stepbrother and I's futures. But if there's one thing I believe in, it's fidelity. Especially given how his cheating meant my tiny little mind growing up in a very confusing and difficult to understand situation that I just couldn't process as a little guy. I told my dad that no father should ever put his son in a situation like this, one where I have to keep a secret from my own stepmother, who I love very much, for the rest of her and my own days. It's sad. I don't know if I'm looking for advice. More just want to tell the story and hear people's thoughts and unique perspectives. And remind you that these HBO-esque dramatic narratives do in fact often happen in real life.
The one that got away said I got away.
After my divorce at 24, I ventured back into the dating world. I had been so naive in choosing my first wife and had believed her lies and was terribly gun-shy. I met a lovely woman we'll call Lisa, 21F. Lisa was a very attractive woman. She was probably an 8 to the world if I'm being subjective, but to me she was beyond anything so blasé as ranking. When I saw her, I felt like I had a frog in my throat, and my heart would race. How can even a woman's ears be attractive, damn it? We dated for a while, but she told me pretty quickly that she wanted to be a mom, not a stepmom, and I couldn't blame her really. X was lashing out a lot, and starting your lifelong relationship with baggage isn't wise. I eventually got remarried, and I am happy, but I never have felt the same live wire feeling that she gave me. 10 or so years after we split up, I was taking my son to a monster truck rally and had to stop for gas and some Subway. As we are getting drinks, I hear my name called out. I see Lisa with her husband and 2 kids. She walks over with a, "How have you been?" We chit-chat, and as they are up to order next, she reaches out for a hug. As I hug her back, she says quietly into my ear, "I made a mistake." Her eyes are a little shiny as she steps away, and I gathered my stuff and moved on with my time with my son. Even now, a decade on from that day, I still think about Lisa. I have been across the gamut from let's run away together to how fucking dare you emotionally. I guess today, like so many other days, I'll ruefully put her back in the box in my mind and try, again, to move on. Edit for clarification. First of all, Thanks for the lively discussion. I expected a lot more shit posting and shrill responses because, well, Reddit. Anywho, some of the most interesting comments have been around Lisa deciding not to pursue a LTR because of my kiddos. Women avoid single dads to a huge degree in dating, even when you are an engaged father who has joint custody. The number of times I heard, "I always dreamed of meeting my husband, having kids, and growing old together," shouldn't be surprising in young people. I would even argue that it is wise not to pursue the relationship. My wife and I's relationship nearly never happened for the same reason. I was disappointed every time it happened, but I completely understood. With respect to appreciating what I have, I could, and probably should, write stories about some of the things my wife and I have done and been through. They are sometimes funny, sometimes sad, but always entertaining. There is so much more to this, but this was a small snapshot of a long and rich life. I told this one small snippet because I had just woken up from a dream full of all the emotion I felt that day. I hope this conversation will provide catharsis enough that the dreams will fade. Therapy hasn't helped it, but here's to hoping.
A simple gesture made my mom cry like a baby.
My mom have never been an emotional type. She always have been a very tough and strict mom and wife. She has a past in the military, so that experience made her character. In 25 years of my life, I have seen her crying only one time, and it was when I was diagnosed with a heart disease, and I was obliged to stop playing football because in my country, having a heart disease is a very big issue, and the Federation of Football don't allow you to play like a professional. That day that I was told to stop playing football, I cried very hard, and my heart was in pieces because I saw my dream failing, and I saw for the first time my mom crying with me because she knew that it was my dream. From that time in 14 years, I have never seen her crying again, and yesterday she shocked me and my father. So yesterday at work, she works as a notary. She was having a really bad day and was angry, mad, and teary. So I decided to make her a small surprise. Since she loves pizza and yesterday she didn't had a lunch, I decided to order her favorite type, and I brought it to her work to eat with her and my father. I swear to God, seeing her, a strict and taut woman, crying for a simple gesture like this melted my heart because I thought that it was just a nice thing and nothing else. When she saw us with pizza, she started to cry like a fountain and started to hug and kiss both of us with tears of joy. Like she always says, "I love the simple things that comes from heart." But I really never thought that a thing like this could make her cry. Sorry for repeating the same thing, but I'm really still in shock because it was just a simple gesture, and seeing her crying for this brings me still tears because it's like an event for us. Ahaha. Maybe no one would read this, but for me is a big event to see my general. This is the nickname that me and my father gave to my mom. Ahaha. Crying.
Me and someone I don't know listened to Drake while I took a massive shit at school.
Okay, so I hate school bathrooms, like they are absolutely filthy. But there is this one bathroom at the bottom of my school's performing arts center that's so clean and quiet. I go there like every day. It's pretty much my Zen garden. Anyways, one day about 2 months ago, I'm taking an absolute monster shit, and some dude walks in. I keep going, trying not to make any noise, but then the dude starts blasting fucking Drake and singing. I'm left stunned and accidentally let one rip out, startling the dude, who then stops the music and apologizes. To which I say, "Turn that shit back on, homeboy." Me and this dude then just vibe to Drake while I'm ripping absolute ass for the next 10 or so minutes. I was in a stall, obviously, so I never saw this dude's face, and I didn't recognize his voice as anyone I knew. So out there in my school somewhere, there's a dude I listen to Drake with while shitting. I don't even listen to Drake normally.
Burped in my girlfriend's face while leaning in for a kiss.
Short story, as this has just happened, and I don't know what will happen or what's going on inside of my GFS head. I-20M was driving with my GF20F. We were heading back from dinner. We had ramen, which is a first for me, so my tummy was feeling a bit off. We were at a light, and she leaned in for a kiss, and I leaned in, and accidentally I burped 2 cm away from her face, and it was one of those which smelled gross and felt wet. She instantly jumped back in her seat and gave me the worst look you can get from a GF. I apologized and told her it wasn't on purpose and a total accident. She seemed to be understanding in the moment, and now time has passed. And now when I try to kiss her, she pulls away and refuses to do it. Well, that's my fuck up. Be to never burp in your partner's face. Stupid ramen.
Thank you for watching Reddit Stories. Please feel free to like and subscribe. May you all have a blessed day.